Hey guys, it's Chris Pre with SmartRealEstateCoach.com. We have not posted a new deal for a while on the free site. For those of you that have not joined membership yet, I would encourage you to, obviously, because you're missing out on a whole bunch of good stuff in the membership area. But in the meantime, I want to talk about a subject to deal, and it's got some built-in little nuances. First of all, let's do this so you can see it. First of all, the source was a FSBO called by my son-in-law Zach, who's new to the company, and I bring that up because a lot of you are doing calls, or maybe some of you are afraid to do calls, and you know what, it was an expired, and you're not getting to the calls for whatever reason, or if you're getting to the calls, expired. If you're getting to the calls, you're not using the right scripts, you're not having the right effectiveness. I spoke to a potential client yesterday out of state. I won't give you the state because I don't want to use anyone's name or anything. But the leads were coming in his door and he wasn't getting them converted. Well, how do I know that? Because I know exactly how many leads, and we'll teach you this, exactly how many leads you need to get a contract, exactly how many leads you need to get an appointment first, and exactly how many leads to get a sold deal in your hand, check in your hand, done. Okay, so let's get you as effective as we can on the phone like Zach is now, so you can be bringing these leads into your business. It's that predictable, guys. And all the scripts and everything is in the membership area. Let me go into this deal with you. So that you can see or ask me about this deal later. It's 197 HSH, okay? 197 HSH. Expired call, Zach did. Now, here's what happened. What we found out was, I don't go into as much detail on the free site, guys, but because it's too personal for some people, and the password protected area is going to give you a lot more, but I'm going to try to give as much as I can here. We found out that he had a first and a second, and those totaled are around 198K, okay? Realtor had it on the market, Realtor had it in MLS for 199K. Now what does that tell you right off the bat if you're looking at this expired listing after you spoke to him, or if you're looking at a lead sheet from your VA? It tells you immediately that he or she was willing to come into the closing table with cash, because they're going to pay the realtor, say 5%, right, on $200,000. That's at a full price offer, which wouldn't happen, but let's say that they did. That's $10,000 gone, and then he has closing costs, he has tax stamps, etc. Let's call it $15,000. Now he's got to come to the table with 15 or 18 grand. That's all he had in the bank. That's a shame. So what do? We looked at this and said, well, is this even worth taking? Can we get more on the market? What's it worth to us in the rent-to-own world? Well, it's worth about $229,900, no problem, depending on how long you lock the price in. We're going to go with that on our end, okay? So that's okay. But then we said, can we get a spread on this thing? I mean, can you even make a spread if you do a sandwich lease or subject to? Here's the answer. These payments totaled around $1,570. It's okay. It's actually a 4-bedroom home in an area where we just did 2 recently. And so we pretty much know the market there. I think all day long we'll get 18, but we went on the market at 19. So if you guys have read my ebook, I hope you have. If you haven't, it's called Eat This Sandwich, and it's in the website. But let's look at this. If we get our 19, even if we get 18, let's go with 19. We're going to have what? $330 monthly spread. Not too bad. $330 per month. So payday number 1 is what? If you remember from the ebook, payday number 1. Payday number 1 is going to be whatever we get up front for deposit. Let's say it's 10 grand. Because we got a spread here of 30, right? 10K payday number 1. Payday number 2 is $330 a month. I'm not going to tell you how long yet until I get to the end. This marker is dying. So let's do this. Payday number 3 is what? Payday number 3 is you got the spread here of $30,000, right? You got 10 you already collected, so you got another 20 grand on the back end. Plus all of the principal pay down. Principal pay down, just use round numbers, on this loan is around $300 a month. Guys, think of this. There are some reasons sometimes that this spread can't even be done to go ahead and do it for this reason and this reason, right? So $300 a month. We're going to take the subject to, which I'll explain in a minute, but the fact is, if you just did a 3-year lease, $3,600 a year, principal pay down, a little more than $3,600 a year, spread. So, you know, between the two of those, it's what? Let's call it 700. 700 times 36 months. We're going to go longer, as you'll see in a minute, but how's my arithmetic here? 2 carried to 4, 21, 25. It's 25 more grand. On a small $200,000 house that was peaked out at what they owed, you can see the benefit to sellers in this and how useful and helpful we can be as investors. Because he's taking care of his credit and getting free of that. I'll tell you in a minute what we're doing to help him buy a home. But we picked up 25 grand in the two spreads. We picked up 10 here and 20 here. So all total, that's what? 45 grand. Now, that doesn't surprise me. I haven't done these numbers until I did this video. It doesn't surprise me because all our deals run between $45,000 and $55,000. Some of them are 100 plus, but most of them minimum are in this range, okay, for the sandwich deals. Now, so we're going to sell this on a sandwich lease. Here's what we're doing on our end for the seller. He said, okay, all this looks fine, but number one, my bank told me I can't get financing for 6 months if I do a sandwich lease. Because if you do a lease, he didn't know the word sandwich. Because they need some seasoning, okay? They need to see that I'm getting seasoning. So he needed to go get financing, okay? Financing. So here's what we did, guys. We said, okay, we'll take the property subject to, which means we're going to own it. We'll pay your closing costs so you don't have to come out of pocket. We're going to start paying your two loans 30 days after we take it subject to. We'll start paying the payments current. They are current now. And then we're going to give you a wrap for the exact same terms, exact same payment amount as your first and your second. Why? Because then he can go to his bank and say, I don't own the home. Here's a mortgage covering my mortgages. And most, not all, okay, most banks will count that and wash out his debt service versus waiting 6 months. Not all. I explained to him he'd have to shop, but you are much more likely to go get financing on a new home when you have a wrap covering that versus a sandwich lease that you're going to show a bank. They don't love that. They might count 70% of the income and strap you with 25-30% of it still, which isn't bad. But with a subject to and a wrap, his chances go way up of going to get financing on the other end. Okay, that's important. Now here's the other thought the other lesson I was going to give you guys. He had his attorney call me. I don't love when they say, hey, I got to have my attorney look at everything, but it's okay if they do, and I'm going to do a different video on how to address that. But when the attorney called me, I could tell he didn't really know what he was doing. He was pleasant with me. I answered all his questions, and then he didn't say anything to me. He called his client. His client sent me an email that basically said, in summary, hey Chris, my attorney doesn't advise me to do this and said that it's too risky and nobody in his firm knew what this was, at least purchase or subject to. So I answered back, and I don't remember the exact wording, but I said something like this. Okay, number one, I'd be concerned if he didn't know what it was, and I'd be even more concerned if the entire firm didn't know what it was, and does this guy even do real estate? And then I said, basically, good luck with it. Instead of you coming up with 15 grand, we were going to take over all your debt and give you relief, and you can go on with your life, because he's coming out of a divorce. But if not, it's A-okay. And I was actually a little bit, I'd say, sarcastic and facetious in my email, to which he replied and said, no, don't take me the wrong way. I want to do this. I was just letting you know what my attorney said. I want to drive and meet you. He was an hour and a half from my office, and he drove all the way down, because I wasn't going to go there. If he was serious, he's going to drive down here and meet me. He did, brought a buddy of his with him. Everything went great. We signed the P&S. We're working on title, and we're working on deed right now. So I want to give you all those little nuances, because that deal took a couple turns here and there, and away we go. I will, on a different video, it's going to be in the members area, not here, answer the question on how you handle attorneys, people that are going to their attorney, and how you handle that script to soften that a little bit and to get the relationship open-ended with you to make sure you can get these deals that are getting reviewed by your attorney. Hope that deal helps. If you have questions on the subject to deal, reference 197 HSH. Make it a great week.